project today that's all about using scraps that you have around the house. It doesn't necessarily have to be construction paper. It could be magazine scraps. What other things? Wrapping paper scraps, that would be cool. Tissue paper scraps. So you could even color pieces of paper and different colors and then use those, cut that up. And so you kind of make your own colored paper. So there's lots of ways that you can do this project using what you have around the house. You're also going to need some scissors, and you're going to need let's see, some glue, some scissors, some paper, your imagination, and then maybe some markers or crayons, colored pencils, something to make lines and designs with, okay? So I have all of these scraps right here. Again, you guys use what you have. I'm going to start with one solid piece of paper. I happen to have a yellow piece of paper at home, so I'm going to use that. Black would look super great. Or again, we can just use blank white paper and, as I was saying, color it different colors, cut it out for your scraps, and then your base paper could just be another piece of white paper. Okay, so I recently learned about an artist named Reggie Laurent, and he's an African-American artist that used geometric shapes in organic or freeform shapes to create his art, along with lines and designs. So he incorporated different elements of design into his artwork. It's very colorful, very different, and full of expression, okay? So what we're going to do is, with our pieces of paper, we are going to cut some shapes. So I can go from edge to edge to make a triangle. And I could straighten this up right here and make another triangle. I could even do something kind of like a diamond, maybe. If you feel more comfortable drawing your shapes and then cutting them out, totally fine. There is nothing wrong with that, okay? I might also want maybe a circle, so I can just turn my paper in the scissors just like this. There we go. And maybe I want a square or a rectangle, right? Here's a rectangle. Maybe I want one that's a little bit more square-ish. Square. Move on to a new color. Maybe I'll do another rectangle, but do it longer and skinnier. Maybe I'll do a parallelogram. Kind of looks like a diamond if you turn it a certain way. So like right here, it sort of looks like a diamond, but if you turn it like this, it has two parallel lines that never intersect, and two lines across the other side that won't intersect. Ooh, an oval. We don't have an oval yet. Again, if it's easier to draw your shapes first, that might be a good idea, and then cut them out. Remember, scissors are tools, not toys, and to be really careful with them. I've had to get stitches from scissors, okay? Your thumb, I know it sounds silly, but kids do this all the time. Your thumb goes in the circle, they do it wrong, and your fingers go in the oval side, okay? Thumb is always on top, and little chomps will do the trick, okay? Now, what about a freeform? Freeforms are shapes that don't have names and may take on their own outer edge, right? So this one is a freeform. This is a freeform. Okay. Henri Matisse was a great artist that incorporated shapes into his art as well. How about a long, skinny one? This one reminds me of a worm or a balloon. Okay, a little freeform like that. Okay, and maybe we'll do another kind of starburst shape, freeform. Here we go, like that. I may be making too many. I'm gonna make a long, skinny one that kind of turns. So it's kind of fun just to cut randomly. And as long as it closes off, then it's a shape. And how about a few orange ones? If I want to make some the same, I can fold them in half, fold my paper in half, cut, and then when I'm done cutting, I'll have two because I folded it in half. You could also make a heart by folding in half and then just cutting half of a heart on the fold line, just like that. Okay? All right. There we go. Let's see how much we have and if we need to make more. Now, my glue stick has disappeared. Who knows? Uh-oh. And my glue must be a little stopped up in here because I don't even hear air coming out. Bummer. So, we're going to improvise. I'm going to use an old paintbrush, old one, and I'm going to just dip it in my glue, just like this, and get me a little bit of glue. And it doesn't take much, just little dabs will do ya, here and there, around the edge. Okay? And we can start gluing our shapes on randomly. Now remember, some are geometric shapes. Those are shapes that have names: circles, squares, triangles, ovals, diamonds, hearts, octagons, trapezoids. Any of those types are geometric shapes. Shapes that don't have names, that look very different than geometrics, that maybe you might find out in nature, are organic shapes. I might want this one to kind of come over here, maybe like that. Yeah, I like that. So glue stick would be great, but if you don't have it, then glue bottle works great. If your glue bottle is not working the way it should, then you can definitely use an old paintbrush and dip it in your glue, and then you can just glue away. Okay. Ooh, we could even do shapes on shapes if y'all wanted to, right? Yes, we could, because this is our art. We don't have any purple yet. Do a little purple. Go. Maybe another blue. Okay. I'm actually going to try to see if this is glued down too much already. Ooh. Okay. Stick that right there. Stick that on top of it. Those shapes are overlapping where one kind of goes on top of the other. That makes our artwork interesting if we can overlap some things, right? Go. And put, okay, I'm kind of running out of room, aren't I? Put this down here. There we go. Okay. Boop. All right, now you want to make sure you don't have any flippy floppy edges. Okay, we want everything to be glued down nice and flat. All right, now you get to incorporate line. Okay, so now we're going to use, you could use all different color markers if you want. You could use crayons if you don't have markers. And we are going to go around things, in things, over things, under things, and we are going to create some line. Okay? Maybe here, dash, dot, dash, dot, dash, dot, dash, dot, dash, dot. Okay? So your line can have pattern, your line can have design. Okay? Our lines can be very busy and happy and show a lot of movement. Our lines can be very calm. Our lines can be organized or not. Our lines can express feeling if we want them to. There are all kinds of lines. There we go. Now I could, if I wanted to, incorporate some different colors as well. Okay, they don't all have to be the same color. Okay. And so we want our artwork to be unique, just like you are unique. We want it to be special, just like you are special. We want to put thought into our art so it becomes a masterpiece. Okay. I like this one, red violet. Okay. Awesome. Go. Okay, we could even do lines inside our shapes. Now I will say, if your glue, like my glue's still wet on this, if your glue's still wet, it may not work very good to do lines inside your shape that's still wet, because it's really hard to draw on top of paper that has wet glue underneath it. So you may have to let it dry a little if it's not allowing you to draw nicely on top of it. Mine's giving me a little bit of a hard time. Okay. Oop. And if you're not careful, you can tear your paper if the glue underneath it is super wet. Like just then I almost tore my purple paper. Okay. And so eventually our paper is going to be so full of lines and designs. It will be so fun and expressive by the time we're done. Okay, let's see. Ooh, that's kind of hard to see, isn't it? There we go. Boop, boop, boop. And whatever you are feeling. You can remember all those lines that we've learned over time, the dashed lines, dotted lines, wavy, zigzag, vertical, horizontal, curved, spiral. All of those lines that we've learned over time will help you make a nice piece of art. Go. Awesome. So I could continue adding lines and designs and filling this whole thing up with just fun, right? And then we're done. Now, of course, if you wanted to add some words or extra designs or more paper on top of the papers you already have, you most definitely could. So this is like a collage and drawing combined, because we cut paper, we added it to another paper using glue and a decorative design. So it's like a collage, but then we also used lines to create design with our crayons and our markers. So this is very fun project inspired by Reggie Laurent, and I hope that you enjoyed the process. I cannot wait to do some more art with you.